Hello, agents of Smash Mouth. I am back with some more comic reviews. Now, I haven't been talking too much about comics lately, so I have a couple of weeks piled up here. As usual, it's brought to you by my comic series Red Knight, published through Primal Paper Comics. And we're still doing the Indiegogo campaign for fundraising for the trade paperback. It's still going on. I think we have 32 days, if I'm not mistaken. The link is below. We have already actually made our goal. We're at we're at 631. The last time I checked. Now you can still donate and pledge and still get rewards. And what's cool is if you do get me even further over the top, that will give me a little bit more change to take care of printing and some other expenditures that might pop up as a surprise. So yeah, check it out below, and thank you everybody for pledging. Let's see, especially you enthusiast. Well, I don't want to just single out some of you. Thank you all. You've been fantastic. I'm going to do my best to give you the best book ever. Now, let's talk about some other best books ever. Let's see. This last couple weeks, I have 3 Image, 1 IDW, and a Marvel book. That's right. Image has finally kind of taken over my pull list here. I'm actually buying more Image. I was just thinking about it the other day. I get Saga, Invincible, Lazarus. I just started Sex Criminals, which I'll be reviewing in just a moment. I'm looking forward very much to Rocket Girl and Pretty Deadly. Now, there's a ton of different cool Image books, so I'm doing my best to figure out which ones to get. But right now, we're going through a little bit of a creative explosion from Image. So if you're a disgruntled fan of whatever company that you may be disgruntled by, you should give them a look. This is Saga issue, where are we? 14. We're up to 14. Now, last we left our heroes, Marco and Alana and the family had sought out the writer of the cheesy romance novel that kind of got them involved with each other, which a lot of people seem to think has some political overtones that really inspired them as well. They go to see him. They're kind of out of ideas. Anyway, the last time we checked, Prince Robot actually was questioning the writer, and he's telling them they're not there, and then we peer up in the last page, and oh shit, they're there. Now, we kind of flash back a little bit earlier leading up to that. We get to see Alana's stepmom in a pretty funny scene, actually, where she's being interviewed by these reporters. I like we get some hints, even without seeing the father, some hints into the relationship. She seems oblivious that Alana hates her. I love the wedding photo, by the way. This actually makes me laugh. And what I like is you can tell that they don't get along, but she does care because she's rather insulted when the writers suggest that she's a traitor. And we may never see these characters again, but wow, I mean, I love how little scenes like this can give you a little bit more insight into the storyline, into the characters, almost effortlessly. Anyway, cut back to the scene where they're getting to know the writer. This leads to some hilarious baby vomit scenes. And let's see, then cut to our bounty hunter, the Will, and Gwendolyn, who are chasing after our heroes. And you know what? This storyline could be the A storyline. It's just that well written. And the scene with the girl, Sophie, is rather touching, actually. There's just a simple one-page scene of her and Lion Cat that really kind of got to me. And speaking of feelings, the scene where the mother and the writers seem to kind of like swap stories about their loved ones. And of course, very cool cliffhanger. What a great book! This is 5 Ram Chips. Always get this book if you're looking for something really interesting and different, go back and buy. There's the first 2 volumes of the series are done in trade. You can catch up pretty easily. I highly recommend this series if you're thinking about it. All right, now to Sex Criminals. Boo-ba-doo-boo. maybe the theme song. For mature readers, duh. Don't sell this to a kid. What are you, nuts? Seriously? Is on the back. And yeah, it lives up to that. It's by Matt Fraction, Mr. Hawkeye, Iron Man, Marvel Comics himself. And let's see, what's the artist's full name here? I have his last name, Chip Zdarsky. And I've never seen his work before. He reminds me of the artist from Powers, actually. Matter of fact, at first glance, I thought it was that artist. Because he seems to be able to do several books at once and Powers. I don't know how he does that. But the book starts off with fucking. I mean, like, there's no, like, interior... This is the interior page here. There's no interior, like, credits or anything like that. Just, oh, sex criminals. Okay, that seems like a good, little, fun book. Oh, it's fucking! Right here in the bathroom. Oh, I assume ladies' room? But I'm not too sure. And then we go back to this character's history. Let's see. I forgot her name. Oh, Suzanne. Susie has an interesting ability, and it gets explored here. What goes on is when she orgasms, she stops time, which that's kind of how it feels like, but in her case, she really does stop time with it. And it goes all the way back to her preteens, just before she masturbates in the tub for the first time as a kid. And of course, when you're that age and you're entering the sexual point of your life, you're very confused, you're very uncertain and frightened, and you're worried about, is this normal? Is this right? Am I doing something weird? And in her case, yeah, there is something about her that no one else does. So it's very, because no one talks about all this kind of stuff. So, she spends a good deal of her teens trying to learn everything she can. Like, maybe this happens to somebody. I can't be the only person. By the way, the device of narration, I think, is interesting, where she appears like alongside of herself, an older version of herself talking to the camera. I normally dislike breaking the fourth wall. I really, as a device, I really don't care for it much. But here, I think it's very well done, because she doesn't interact. It doesn't seem like she interacts with the people in the book. So I'm able to let it go, and I think it's extremely well done. And the writing is just so realistic, and the humor is really top-notch. Like, she asks a friend about sex, and she gets a Sharpie, and they go in the ladies' room, and she explains the most crazy sex positions. I mean, yeah, a couple I've heard of and done, but I mean, some of these I've never even heard of, and I'm not doing that. I've done that. I won't do that. That's disgusting. But anyway, it's a great scene. But at a party, she runs into this young, funny guy, and let's see, his name is Jonathan. They have, wonderful, conversation. They get along pretty well. They have sex, and then they both realize they can do it. So I don't want to really go further into that. I guess I've explained enough, but at the end, it jumps right into their criminal life. So I guess that's enough. A spoiler, really. It's an amazing book, and I actually read it a couple times. First time I read it, and kept on reading it that day. It's really funny. It's really thoughtful. It's very inventive. I enjoyed the hell out of this, and I have no idea where this is going to go. And it's part of the reason why I love comic books so much. This actually reminds me of a lot of the good DC Vertigo and independent books I used to read back in the 90s, when non-superhero stuff back in the 90s was really inventive and interesting. And maybe I've just been reading too many superhero books in the last 10 years, or whatever, but wow, this really puts me back to that. I also recommend this, of course, if you're of age. But I'm going to give this 5 round chips. This is a fantastic book. And also, this is the last thing from Image, I think. This is Lazarus. issue 4 by Greg Rucka and Michael Lark. Now, last we left our hero, Forever Carlisle. She was making a peace mission with a rival family, the Maury family from down south, I think Mexico, California really. And the father sent Forever to make a peace mission because, you know, they really can't keep at it. However, the brother, Jonah, and the sister have different plans. So they, Joanna and Jonah, I think his name is, let's see. Yeah, Jonah and Joanna. But anyway, they make the plan to assassinate her, but that doesn't go too well because she's kind of a mutant hero killing machine. They should have really sent a lot more guys and a nuclear missile. But anyway, she and the Lazarus from the Maury family win the day and kill the fucking shit out of these soldiers. But Joanna has a plan. She has her bodyguard beat her up and blame Jonah and tells him, you gotta go. You have a head start, go. So he's basically the scapegoat after she double crosses him. And, well, so far gets away with it because Forever buys the story. And, yeah, we got this intrigue going on of who's going to take over this family. At the end, Forever gets a message that gives her a lot of thinking to do. Wow, what a cool book. A lot of intrigue, really fascinating politics that goes on to this series. And it's not about the politics, it's just the world they live in. And also, I do find Greg Rucka's Forever Yours articles in the back really interesting. It's a letter column, but then he also writes some interesting news articles he reads here and there that, you know, are definitely not front page stuff. What a cool book. This is also 5-gram chips. Now let's go to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Pretty much a different book than the others. This is issue 26 by the gang. Kevin Eastman, Bobby Kudrow, Tom Waltz, and Mattis Santaloco. With a extra artist here, Charles Paul Wilson III. Oh, excuse me. Paul actually does the first 2 pages, which is a heart-wrenching dream sequence with Leonardo talking to his mother, which does lend to the theory, well, not maybe a theory, I mean, it's pretty much been stated, that they're the reincarnations of Splinter's kids that Splinter murdered. You know, that's not something you're going to see in the old 80s cartoon. But, wow, what a sweet scene, actually. He's still brainwashed by the Foot, but you do get the sense that he is kind of struggling with this, and he's trying to make sense of it. I'm hoping, you know, he will come out of it, you know, not too late. Anyway, we have a lot. This is kind of a this is kind of a respite in the storyline, where our characters find some new places where they're going to be. Some allies come together, like Splinter and Old Hob, and you get to see where the story is going. So it's a solid chapter of the story. It's not a chapter that's, you know, really like explodes the whole story, but does progress it further. Of course, don't skip it. This has been a great series, and the art is beautiful. I love Santaloco. I don't think he's going to stay with the series. You know, the artists don't stay too long in this book. They kind of move on, which is too bad. This guy is amazing. I'd love for him to stay on this book for a while. 5-gram chips, I'd say. And meanwhile, over at Uncanny Avengers, issue, what did I have here? 12. And this is by Rick Remender and Salvatore Lacoca. Just like actually the Ninja Turtle book, another solid chapter in this storyline with Krang and his usual kind of crazy crap he's doing. Trying to tempt the mutants into escaping and colonizing Jupiter or something like that, and he can take over the planet and stuff like that. I guess it'll work. It seems to work in the future for him, but even at the end, it seems to be, you know, coming apart. My favorite sequences are actually the middle between Wasp, Havoc, and Captain America, where they're taking out thugs, trying to get closer to the big apocalypse moment going on in the middle of New York with the Mutant twins. I love the dialogue between Havoc and Wasp. His characters get along really well, actually. Their repartee is pretty funny. I hope that's where Remender's going, is putting them together as a couple. And also, speaking of characters getting along really well, the Wonder Man Scarlet Witch scenes are really well written too. I get why they're such a good couple together, actually. And I don't normally care that much about Wonder Man. He's never been a character that's really gotten to me, but he's really cool in this issue. I think he's very well written. The art, of course, is solid as well. I'm going to give this a strong 4 Ram Chips. I do recommend it. Don't skip this issue. This is a terrific issue. It's one of the better ones in the storyline, I think. I think that's it for now. Like I said, please go to the Indiegogo page with the link listed below. If you still want to donate, you have plenty of time. You can choose several rewards, and I'll try to make a cool book. Deal? Okay, cool. Push the button, Lindsay.